And next up is questions from Layne618, who's very nice. He has 11 questions. 1. Have you ever seen William Friedkin's The Guardian from 1990? I haven't seen that one. I know my friend Mike talked good things. I remember seeing clips of that in the Boogeyman DVD compilation that Robert Englund does a commentary over. I know it has something to do with a witch, something like that. I know it's something about a guy has a chainsaw and chainsaws a tree and the tree like bleeds blood. I haven't seen that film. I don't own that film. I'd like to give it again, another film I'd like to give it a watch sometime, but I don't own it. But I have heard of the film. What are some of your horror films that generally did scare the crap out of you? Personally, John Carpenter's The Thing has always terrified me, and it still kind of does. Horror films that generally did scare me. Um, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, when I saw on a farm in the middle of the night, uh, I thought it was a very well effective film. So the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I can't really say a lot of films scare me, but not just, oh, well, I'm boasting, but just, I saw Aliens when I was like 7, so maybe that's why I could handle it. But uh, scare me, scare me. I just say films that were creepy. I thought Session 9 was kind of creepy. I thought Blair Witch Project, I will say, the very first time I saw Blair Witch Project was, I had never seen anything like that. I had never seen any movie like that. I really liked the characters, and I got really creeped out by the Blair Witch Project. Even when I knew it was fake, I know it's just a movie, but I thought, wow, this is really well done. Never seen a film like this. And I remember by the ending, my heart was pounding. I'm like, wow, whoa, what's going on? What's going to happen? Oh shit, I know they're dead, but what, huh? What? Oh shit, So Blair Witch Project. I would say those two films. Blair Witch Project didn't scare me; it creeped me out. I don't know, my heart's about, so I guess that is scare. So, but I would say those two films: the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Blair Witch. Number 3. Speaking of The Thing, do you think that even though John Carpenter has said that it's his favorite film, it's a little painful for him to think about it since his poor box office performance damaged his career and it never really recovered? Yeah, he even mentioned that in there's I think a Horror Hound magazine. It's the only one I have. I wish I could have gotten their others because they did another Horror Hound magazine that talked about other remakes like The Blob from '88, which pissed me off because I didn't get it. I should have gotten it, but the one Horror Hound I got, it was about The Thing, and he talks about how it was painful. It was painful. He got fired from doing a film. He was going to do the Stephen King adaptation of it was an adaptation of a Stephen King novel called Firestarter. He was going to direct it, and they fired his ass. So, and then people called it the pornographer of violence. Like, this is a pornographer of violence? Watch a Serbian film. That's a pornographer of violence. So, absolutely. It's not even a little painful. I think it's extremely painful. He loves the film, but I wouldn't blame him. People are calling you pornographer of violence, calling you sick and this and that, and you get fired from a movie? That'd be and a really good movie, but you get fired because that movie didn't do well. So I would say it would piss them off. Also, I've always felt that the creepiest scene in The Thing is the investigation of the Norwegian camp. What do you think? And I would appreciate if you could reframe a ranting about the prequel in this instance. That's fine. Um, I like that scene. Um, I'm not going to mention that movie, but what I liked about it was that you could fill in the blanks yourself. I don't think you always need everything spoon-fed to you, which was part of my problem with Prometheus as well. I did not need to see what those creatures were, the space jockey. I don't need it spoon-fed to me. And even when he spoon-fed it to me, I thought it really wasn't that fulfilling. It really wasn't that. I felt it was pointless. Here, I mean, in that scene, you got the devastation already. You had the guy who's frozen in the middle of killing himself and bleeding. You got the devastation, things blown up, things a wreck, remains of a creature. You knew everything you needed to know. And just to talk about a teeny bit, I have to, you didn't need that in the prequel. It wasn't needed, wasn't wanted. I got all the info I had, and it added nothing to it. So that scene I thought worked well, and John Carver's the thing because you knew what damage it could do, and you know what damage it was probably going to do at Kurt Russell's camp. Would you say though of the Masters four, like George Romero, John Carver, and so on, like Toby Hooper's the absolute worst of them? For me, he's just made some good movies, but most of his I just cannot stand. He's probably had I would say for personally, I think he has a bad track record. I thought he had a bad. The Funhouse I haven't seen forever. Um, Spontaneous Combustion, I like Brad Dourif, but I thought they really fucked up that story in the second half of the film. It's like, did you really need to turn him into a bad guy? I mean, did you really have to do that? I thought you didn't have to do that shit. It just, I don't know, a lot of problems. Invaders from Mars, I thought the ending sucked ass. I mean, you could have changed the ending. You're doing a remake. You don't have to copy everything from the original. You don't have to copy the ending. You could make it your own ending. Poltergeist, I mean, I like Poltergeist, but there's always arguments. Did he direct it? Did Spielberg direct it? I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2. Hey, you're talking to a guy. I love the Mangler. I love the Mangler. Um, but did he do like Crocodile or something? Whatever there was, I thought that was awful. Mortuary, I thought sucked. So I think he's made a lot of movies that I didn't care for. Toolbox Murders, I actually thought it was okay. I thought it was an okay film. I didn't hate Toolbox Murders. That was one of his better films. So, I think he's a hit and miss director. I really do. Life Force I haven't seen forever. I know they're doing that new Scream Shout Factory. I wouldn't mind to give that movie another chance and look at the features and stuff. But I like to give Life Force another shot. So he's kind of a hit and miss director. I was actually kind of surprised when I heard that you really like David Fincher's The Game because I figured the ending to that movie would be one of that would really infuriate you. While I personally don't hate it, it's kind of hard for me to swallow nevertheless. No, I love The Game. I think the ending is genius. I think the ending is genius. It's like the ending to April Fool's Day, the original, if you think about it. And because think about it, this is a guy, David Fincher. He did Alien 3. What was the ending of Alien 3? Someone dying. You know. Then what was the ending to 7? Then like, okay, here's another David Fincher has the same kind of ending, and it doesn't. It's like, holy shit. I loved it. I thought it was ingenious. And I got the point in the movie that, you know, he had to let go, and, you know, he was very stuck up. He was very kind of a prick to people, or not really prick, but he was very obsessed with what happened with his father, that if he did not loosen up, if he was going to turn like his father and maybe commit suicide out of loneliness and stuff like that. But this is really living. It's like Scare Tactics, that TV show Scare Tactics. You know, people get scared and, oh my god, this person died, and, you know, that lasts for a couple minutes, and it didn't infuriate me. I loved it. What it would have infuriated me if he fucking died. Then I'd be like, oh fuck this, I'm depressed and this and that. I loved it because he didn't die, and I like. That's a game I would love to do. I'll be honest. Think about it. You're playing this game and you're going through crazy shit, but at the end of the day, it all worked out well, and like, I just lived a movie. You know, I lived a. I'd be a little bit pissed for. I'd be pissed for a little bit. I think that's one thing. I think he should have been pissed a little bit, but I would have ended up like Michael Douglas, like, that was a hell of a rush, you know. So I love the game. I thought it was. I love that movie. Speaking of endings, I was once that I hate the movie High Tension because of its ending. Do you think that type of ending is becoming a bit overused and cliche nowadays? I personally ended up not liking Session 9 because it had that same type of ending. I don't know. Session 9 I didn't mind because I thought it was well handled. I thought the actor, he gave a really good performance. I thought it was creepy. And when I watched the film again, I'm like, okay, I can see that. And the session, the title itself kind of tells you what the movie is. The tapes, the sessions, they talk about someone who is fucked up in the head, who has different personalities. Same thing with here, and then you get the idea of was he possessed by this person? Did he do it himself? I don't know, Section 9, I could deal with. I thought that was an ending that earned it. Think about it. John Carpenter's The Thing. You could say the same thing. That's a depressing ending. John Carpenter's The Thing. That's a depressing ending. I do think the high tension ending is. I don't think that was Session 9. I don't think it. I think High Tension and Session 9 have different endings. Like High Tension, that was just a cheat. I thought that was a fucking cheat because you watch the film, that doesn't make sense. Session 9 I thought made sense because you have that scene early in the film where you get the moment that guy like hears a voice and, okay, did he get possessed? Is that part of him going crazy? You can figure it out yourself. So I saw Session 9. I thought it used that well. I thought it used it better. I thought it was earned. High Tension, I thought, wow, you cheap ass motherfucker. You cheaped out. You fooled me. But it wasn't even fool like fair. It was like, okay, you just really manipulated me into bullshit proportions. And that was kind of what really hurt High Tension for me. Is like, you didn't, that's, to me, you didn't need the ending in High Tension. I thought Session 9 ending worked for the film. High Tension, I thought, well, you cheap ass motherfucker. You know, it didn't make sense when you watch the film. Like, wait a minute, how are you getting these shots? And you know, if she's really this, it didn't really follow through for me. So yeah, I would say that type of ending is overused and cliched. If it really fits with the story, but sometimes it's just out of left field. I'm like, fuck this. It didn't need to end that way. So that's my opinion. What are your thoughts on these films that I like called the femme fatale movies? Single White Female, The Hand That Rots the Cradle. I've only seen clips of them. I haven't seen all of them. Fatal Attraction I thought was okay. I really enjoyed Misery though. I really enjoyed Misery. I thought the performances were really excellent. I don't know if you've seen any of his more recent videos, but do you think James Wolfe should maybe think about retiring the interview video nerd? I'd like to see him continue doing that, but I think some feel that it's time for him to hang up. To me, it doesn't bother me. Like, the AVGN, I have no problems with. I think he should hang up when he feels like it. Because I don't have to pay him money. I don't have to pay him money to watch his videos. And, you know, I know he's busy doing this movie. And granted, I wasn't a big fan of the trailer of the movie, but good luck to him. I'm not really, oh, fuck him. But yeah, I mean, that'd be up to him. Do I think he should retire? No. He's harmless. He's not hurting my life. He's not hurting my feelings. I still like the stuff I see. So yeah. You and I once said about how last summer Spoonie kind of went crazy and got himself kicked off that guy with the glasses. Even after that, was still acting like a jerk. Do you think the success he had maybe went to his head, or do you think he has some emotional problems? I think it's a combination of the two myself. Well, I can't really say because I don't know the guy. I've never met the guy. I've never talked to the guy. I know he said that he went to a doctor. I think he said he had a condition. I don't know if it was bipolar. I don't know if it was bipolar or if it was a certain other term. But I know he said he went to a doctor and said that, so maybe that was part of it. But again, I didn't really know the complete story because it wasn't really my business. But so I would only speculate, and when you speculate, you get in trouble. So who knows? I mean, we're all human. We all make mistakes sometimes. So you know, I've liked some of his new videos, but I don't know if he got kicked off. I know then there's talk like, oh no, he quit. They were thinking of quitting. So you always got two sides of an argument. That's why it's always weird, hard to talk about it. So who knows? Finally, I want to say I do like Bill Murray. He's been in some very funny movies, and I've always liked him in them. But do you think maybe he's kind of an ass? So I just get that vibe when people talk about him. He could very well be, because you hear stories about, you know, why he didn't come back for Charlie's Angels 2, because Charlie's Angels 1, him and Lucy Liu got into a big fight. Yeah, I'm sure Bill Murray probably acts like a dick sometimes. But I love Stallone, and I've heard he acts like a dick sometimes. I love Bruce Willis. I've heard he acts like a dick sometimes. I like Van Damme. I've heard he's act like a dick sometimes. It seems like so many people, they act like a dick sometimes. You know, it's too bad. I still like Bill Murray. I still like his stuff, but you know, it's not unusual that you hear about celebrity acting like a dick sometimes. It's sad, but unfortunately, I still like him, but I could buy maybe sometime he's been